Hello, everyone. We are joined today by Cayden Sharp from Greenville University, the SLIAC's all-time leader in pretty much anything you want to talk about in track and field, both indoor and outdoor. Cayden, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. As I mentioned, over 30 medals in your career. Um, Track season, you had a meet back in December, but it's really getting started this weekend with Illinois College. You guys are heading up there. How excited are you about this season, and what you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm so excited that season's starting back up and all the training that I did in the fall and being able to see it out in action. But yeah, I'm ready to get going.
Yeah. So sprints, jumps, throws, you pretty much do it all. Is there one event that you kind of prefer over the others?
Probably the hurdles. The hurdles is definitely my favorite, and yeah, I've always just really liked it and seem to do well at it. So,
So the first time you went to go for the hurdles, that didn't scare you having to jump over the hurdles and,
oh yeah.
racking your shin against the bar or anything like that?
Oh yeah. So when I had learned to do hurdles, it was here for the first time. I was a freshman. I had to learn in like 3 weeks, and then they threw me out in the 100 hurdles. And oh yeah, I was terrified, but hey, I got over them all, so it went well.
There you go. That's right. As I mentioned, you do a little bit of everything, including the heptathlon. When you're going into an event like that, do you try and balance your energy across all the events, or is there a couple events you know you're pretty strong in, you really go after those? How do you attack a multi-event category like that?
Yeah, it's actually very strategized, I would say, like when it comes to the points and stuff. But I know my strong events, which would be like the hurdles, the sprints, and the jumps. So really just trying to do my best in those. And then when it comes to like the throws and the 800, which are my weaker events, just kind of getting through those and knowing like a mark that I need to hit to get a certain amount of points. So that way my total could, be what I want it to be.
So you mentioned at the very beginning your training during the off season. What kind of stuff do you train? Because when you're doing multiple events like this, I'm sure that takes up a lot of time having to practice and focus on the various events rather than just one event. What does your training look like in the off season?
Yeah, so in the off season, like the summer, beginning of fall, I'm not really practicing the events so much. It's more of just building my strength and my endurance. So I lift 3 times a week, and then the other days where I don't lift, I'm usually running, like doing type of running workout. And then when season starts around, that's when I practice my individual events weekly.
Track and field's unique in that you can train, as you said, train all off season, get ready for throughout the whole season, and it comes down to that qualifying time when you get
Mhm.
into, say, a championship, and you might just have a bad run or a bad jump or a bad day, and it kind of just that whole moment, that whole season, and all that work kind of disappears. How do you mentally prepare for something like that, where a bad 10 seconds can be the whole season?
Right. And yeah, that's happened before for sure. But just kind of learning to bounce back from that and saying, I'm in the heptathlon and I have a bad event, thinking, okay, well, that sucked. It didn't go how I wanted to. But okay, now, long jump was bad, but now I'm a javelin thrower. Now I'm going to focus on javelin and do the best I can and, learning from my mistakes. And of course, it's disappointing, but be like, okay, well, what can we do better next time and come back stronger?
As I mentioned, you've competed both indoor and outdoor track and field. How do you look at those two? Do you consider it all one? I know the events vary, depending on
Mhm.
indoor and outdoor, but do you kind of use indoor for outdoor? Do you see it as two completely different seasons? How do you look at those two different championships?
Yeah, so indoor, I feel like it's more of like a practice, like getting ready for outdoor. The running events are shorter. And then instead of the heptathlon, so instead of seven, it's 5 events, the pentathlon, and kind of using that as like a training, breaking off the rust. And then, of course, I'm going to try to qualify for indoor, but having it is, yeah, kind of like some extra training to help with outdoor so I can get stronger for that.
Perfect. Just a couple more questions for you before we wrap it up. How did you get involved in track and field at the beginning?
Okay, yeah. So I actually growing up, I was a competitive gymnast. So I did gymnastics like all until I was like a senior in high school. And then my mom was a track coach, and she's like, "I think you should try track." And I was like, "No, I don't know. It's going to take up too much of my time." And then I was in PE class in high school, and the PE teacher was also the track coach. And he like noticed me running. He's like, "Hey, you're fast. You should do track." And I said, "Okay, like I'll try it out, just to make him happy." And then I ended up the 200 was what I did, and I ended up winning. And I was like, "Oh, well, maybe I'm good at this." So then, yeah, I got recruited from Greenville, and yeah, I really just grew from there and developed a love for track and field.
So what is your major at Greenville?
Social work.
Okay. So you ideally you'd like to go into social work after
Mhm.
graduation?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
like to go on and get a master's in mental health counseling.
Okay. And what is it about social work and mental health counseling that kind of drew you to that?
Yeah, I just really like helping people, and especially like the psychology part of it, figuring out like how the brain works. And I want to use that to kind of help others who struggle with mental illness. And yeah.
That's great to hear.
Mhm.
What was it that drew you to Greenville University? Why did you want to go to Greenville?
Yeah, so first of all, the track program and like Coach Patton, and they're just amazing people. And I just felt like it was home. And then I also liked how it was a Christian university too, aligned with my beliefs, and how it was a smaller school. So it was more personal with the professors. And yeah, just when I visited, it just felt like home.
Cool. Well, Cayden, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I was a little surprised in the background you didn't have, your 30 medals and athletes of the year trophies in the background there, but it would have filled up that whole space. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure watching you over the years, and we look forward to watching you again this spring.
Yeah, well, thank you.
All right, thank you.